and off we go. You guys all voted, or at least a percentage of you that should pretty well represent everyone voted on the community tab poll, and we're back on the moose grind today. I was curious to see how many people would be interested in seeing us return to the bear grind, and it was enough that I think we're at least going to do a little bear grinding content sometime soon. It's probably better for videos anyway. Nighttime grinding is not great for streams, the bitrate just doesn't love it, so I'm looking forward to doing a little bit of that. But for today, we're back with the Moose, and to be fair, of the two, I kind of think Moose is probably more achievable, so maybe it'll happen. Moose grind indeed, Austin. What's going on, Danny? Bottom Boy's in here. Jace is in here. Amazing Pizza. What's up, guys? It's a Flinter stream. It is Space Cowboy. Hopefully, it shall be a good one. I feel like we've been doing okay on Moose grind streams in particular. A lot of videos we haven't killed that much, but most streams we get like a piebald or like at the very least a troll 5. Shouldn't say that because now we're just going to find nothing, but here we are. How about no grinds? That's what the classic streams are for. Kinda. Toxicity, what's going on, man? How's your Monday going? I can feel it. This is the stream where you get it. We're over 1,000 now. I feel like it would be great to get it in 200, obviously, but 1,000 or so is the point at which I feel like it could happen literally at any time. And I feel like I said that about bears a lot, and we never did get it. But you hear a lot of numbers when people quote their like Great One stats. Usually it's a lot, but over 1,000 in general, so maybe that's a good thing for us. Holy, it's Sogner. What's going on, man? How are you? Setting up for a whitetail grind on Rev currently? Nice. I'm thinking I want to get back to Rev. I don't know if I'm going to do a moose grind over there, but if we reach like say 3K and don't get it here, I think we're going to go to Rev. I like that map. I miss it. Just shot a diamond and black bear. There you go. You doing a grind or just finding it? Did you pray to the internet gods before you started the stream? Maybe I should have. I did not. There seems to be like some correlation with the cold, or like it's not bad weather in particular, but when it gets really cold, I notice the internet kind of struggles. Maybe could like the copper in the wires contract? Is that a thing? I'm not smart enough for this conversation, but maybe that has something to do with it. Not yet, Angie. Jacob, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Is Nyman the way to pronounce that? I feel like that's maybe a thing. Hope you're doing well, and best of luck on the grind. Thank you, man. We will certainly need it. I really appreciate your generosity. Big dono. Holy. How many kills are you into the Meese grind? A little over 1,100. I literally didn't touch it all week, unfortunately. Whenever we streamed it last was the last time I did anything with it. This past week, I did a lot of like editing real life stuff, and I'm also in the process of trying to turn the Flantro channel into like a clips channel. So I don't know if I'm going to rebrand it as like Flinter clips, Flantro clips, something like that. But not necessarily shorts, maybe some shorts there too. But what I want to do is find both like memorable moments, so things like the Great One or Super Rares or First Diamond, that type of thing, as well as stream moments, funny moments, the Caper Kaylee attacking us for the first time, those types of things. That's what I want to do with that channel. So I've also been in the process of getting that ready. I just found the first time we listened to Those Are Some Nice Tracks as well, the Siri thing, those of you guys that have caught the Twitch streams, that one's going to be a clip. I'm excited for all that. Don't even got the bear yet, but are you going for a moose? Do you got the bear yet? More clips than the Mosin can handle? That's, by the way, why I haven't just thrown one clip up there and be like, hey look, it's a clip channel now. I'm going to get a good backlog of 15 or 20. It might take me the rest of the week. It depends. I'm obviously editing some real life hunting content now as well, so I don't have as much time for this. But basically, enough of a backlog to throw a couple up per day for a week or so, and then continue with current clips too. So there'll be a good mix. Hopefully in a week or so that's going to be up, and I think it's going to be fun. One that I definitely am going to do is the Diamond Jackal release day of Rahunga. That's a level 5 Jackal. That was a thing for a couple days. Stuff like that I think is going to be really cool to relive. TikTok takeover has begun. Just wait, right? I'll be a TikTok creator before you know it. Hey, don't be mean, Kyla. What's going on, Jared? Thank you for 34 months. Damn near 3 years indeed. Welcome back, man. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Got an albino level 7 lion and a crowned wildebeest in under an hour yesterday. That albino lion's nuts. I see a lot of albino lions like posted, not a lot posted in general, but many that are posted seem to be like level 5s, not golds, essentially. So the fact that you got one that would be guaranteed gold as that level is quite nice. Got 3 5-star mule deer in a herd in Way the Hunter. That's wild. Is that a product of like heavy management, or have you just kind of discovered a herd that's really good? Because I think that's where I'd like to get to, where my herds are that quality. But I struggle because whether it's a stream, actually, if you guys caught the Transylvania stream Friday on Twitch, I did a lot of this. Like, things that I probably shouldn't shoot, but it's a stream, I want to kill stuff, I kill it. And then it's a 90%, 1-star young mouflon and stuff like that. The Flying Wildebeest clip. The Stampede one from Zaggy and I? What's the flying one? Your albino line is mythical? I'm just saying a lot of them. No need to brag. I had a moose that I shot fly up to the moon. We had, maybe last Monday, when we did a moose grind, one flew way up above us and I tried to shoot it out of the air, but I couldn't hit it. I really want to do that. Gotta post shorts of you flying through the air and sniping caribou. Oh, that's a good one. I gotta write this stuff down. Hang on. Let me open the Google Sheets, because I will forget that one, and that's a fantastic. That's got like multiple shots and stuff that should be included. Let's make a new clips, as we're just running up this river where there's no bull moose. Clips, ideas. Flying bridge. Cool. If you want good herds, never shoot the 1-star adults. Only shoot them if you have used the low potential call. Like, I should do that. Definitely. But sometimes content gets in the way of that a little bit. Like, I want to shoot enough stuff in a video to where it's not like, hey, we killed 3 things today. All right, see you next time. And then, I shoot things that I shouldn't. It happens. I thought there was one where you shot it and it flew away. Maybe. I'd have a hard time finding stuff like that because I wouldn't be able to pinpoint the specific stream or video where it happened. I definitely remember, like, moose would do it, musk deer would do it on Medved way back in the day. If I can find some of them, those would make for fantastic clips, but it's old stuff and not one where I could be like, hey, that was on this stream 3 years ago. But eventually, the way that I want to do it is like current clips. So like when I record, or when I edit rather, tomorrow's video, it's a classic video, so I may not do as many classic clips, but whatever potential clippable things are in that video, I'm also just gonna, while editing, make that a thing so it's ready to go, and work on old stuff. So find old streams, old videos, and that. I just realized the HUD was off this entire time. Where are we at? Okay. But yeah, I think that's going to be like a good way to do it. It brings back old content and kind of continues with current stuff so that doesn't end up being behind. Were we too low on that? Well, he disappeared. 800 kills with only 1 diamond, is that a good ratio? Are you talking about a grind, or are you talking about like overall in-game stats? Holy, speaking of old name, what's going on, Theo? How are you, man? Good to see you. Things are going well. Just out here trying to get a great one moose, even though they don't like us. Got a 342 diamond Gensbuck. I'm gonna guess that is a male, and therefore the max score for males. Oh, there you go, 342 diamond male Gensbuck. Indeed, max score then. Finally made it back to a stream. Been a while. Welcome back, man. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well today. Lots of like return viewers of the stream today. That's really cool. Hope you guys are doing well. Appreciate you stopping back in. Overall, sadly, then no, that's not bad. If it was a grind, I would say that's maybe a little below average, but overall stats, I have, what, 50-something thousand kills and almost 1,000 diamonds, so I end up being like 1 in 50, but it's also my first several thousand kills. That's a big one. Probably a 4. My first several thousand kills weren't diamonds, though. It took like a long time. Michael, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. Good luck on the moose grind today. Doing my own as well. You doing Medved? Or what map you on? I'm hyped for the Way the Hunter map. Dude, it looks so promising. I cannot wait to see the caribou antlers. If they nail those, I'm gonna have a hard time getting off that place. Okay, so not huge, but decent. Because he's facing the wrong way, though, we're gonna shoot the small one first and try to catch him as he turns back towards us. What's up, Cole? First time watching the stream. Well, welcome in, man. Hope you enjoy your stay here. Hopefully we can get some good stuff and make this one an interesting one. That was not my best shot, but it'll do. Maybe possibly decent on that one. I think because of the range, maybe not. I was thinking it would dip below the skull. Now he's dropping. I think we're good. That's the lowest rate of like bleeding out I've seen for a 300, but had to have gotten him. Big male. I really want to play Way the Hunter just because of the new map. Yeah, I really... The way that I've looked at it is because Way the Hunter had quite a lot of hype when it initially got like announced and stuff. And then I think due to generally like the pace of play and stuff, it kind of fell off a little bit in popularity. I'm hoping this map is going to bring some people back, because frankly it deserves it. It's such a well-made game. It's really impressive what they've done in just 6 months. And I can't wait to see where it goes going forward, but obviously for them to succeed and thrive, they'll need the player base to do it. So if there's one map that can galvanize a player base, Alaska's a good choice. I can't keep up on making pretzel crusted chicken. Oh my goodness, can I have some? That sounds amazing. Keaton, what's going on, man? Thank you for the super chat. Glad to be back. How about them Chiefs? Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I really hope they win this one for a lot of reasons, but that Bengals game was whack. The way that it ended was insane. There's like a in-state rivalry between the Steelers and Eagles, so I can't, whether I like it or not, root for the Eagles. But also, I think if Mahomes gets 2 at age, what is he, 27, 28, he has a chance to like get close to the GOAT conversation in the future. How did that end up stomach contestants? Just missed the lungs, I guess. That explains the low bleed rate thing. Caden Bailey, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. The bouncy antlers, the fact that that's still a thing. The fact that this, look at that line at the bottom of the binoculars. The fact that that's still a thing. It blows my mind. I understand, like, especially console ends up with these gigantic updates, 80 gigs, stuff like that, and that's a huge update. For most people, I would say, with relatively decent internet, an hour at most, and you're good. But if you don't have fast internet, you're out of luck for like a day or two from playing the game. You're not a Harry Potter nerd, are you? I am not. I've never watched it. I'm looking for the new Hogwarts Legacy open world game, so I'm gonna definitely watch content on it. I don't intend to, like, make any content, but I think it's gonna be fun to watch. I got an email, like, I don't know, a week ago, that had the name of the game in the subject line. I was like, wait, is this gonna be a sponsor thing? Because I may do that for streams. And then it was definitely a scam. So that was unfortunate. I don't know the point of those scams. There's a lot of them. Like, people pretend to be big corporations looking for sponsorships. I don't know what they're trying to gain from you. Shipping details to then sell to other scams? I don't know. That was bad. When I updated Call of the Wild, it took 2 freaking days. That's why I hate PlayStation. Yeah, and like that's the side of not doing frequent updates that I understand from EW, but there's some things, like, you know, moving the overlay for the binoculars down 10 pixels that probably could be done without that huge of an update. As a Broncos fan, I want the Chiefs to lose. Yeah, you're morally obligated to root for the Eagles there, I suppose. $70 for the Hogwarts game, Kyla? I missed that. If you were to make your dream hunting game, what's one feature you would have that not many games do, I assume you're going for? Way the Hunter actually has a similar thing to what I've always wanted. The general idea of, like, managing your herd genetics. But the thing that I would love to do in a hunting game would also be working with like the land itself, being able to maybe put in food plots. I don't know how like in depth you can make something like this without it ended up being too boring, because that's the thing you gotta balance. But if you could improve your habitat on top of like managing your herd genetics, and that also improves the overall quality of your deer, I'd love something like that. I mean like 12 years old trying to come up with a way to make a game like that, and obviously never got there, but Way the Hunter at least is closer than anything else has ever gotten to that. Favorite animal in general? Whitetail deer. I just love them. Actually, this is a good time. I just got my 8-point back from West Virginia. My brother did the European mount, and turned out pretty heckin' good, I think. Got the arrow that killed him in there too. That's the first like nice 8 I've ever shot. So I've always wanted one. I feel like this stereotypical big whitetail is an 8-point, and I never had. Like, I shot some small 8s, but that was pretty cool. And the variety in their antlers from one to the next, that's the thing that just really, I think, is so cool about them. In the next how many years, who knows how many bucks I'll get, but I can pretty well promise no two are going to look very even close to the same. I can't shoot today, but it's fine. Might have been guts. Slow down, or pick a direction. Oh, he might die. Looks great, thank you, Joe. He does really good work. He's done 2 Euros for me now. My 2019 9-point he did as well. Obviously, the big male from 21 is gonna be a shoulder mount, but looking forward to getting future ones. Big male. You know, I feel like you were there for that one. Maybe I should at least post the clip, because literally like one of my favorite moments for that hunt is you pulling up in the buggy and immediately jumping out in like the touchdown stance, I guess. It was fantastic. I think the Eagles will be... Wait, I think the score will be 14-35 Eagles? I bet it'll be closer than that. I could see the Eagles winning easily. Like, when they played the Giants, it was like watching a kid play Madden and just use a glitched play over and over again. It's just RPO every time, but nobody can stop it because they've got the talent at all the different phases of the RPO. You can't just shut one down and be like, okay, they can't run this now. You stop the run, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, everybody else on that team's gonna beat you. If you can shut down the pass and somehow pick the right thing on the RPO, Jalen Hurts is just gonna pull it and run for 30 anyway. It's a really tough scheme to stop. Checking in from Vegas. What's going on, Jesse? 21-28 Eagles. Somebody's got to kick a field goal. Although you could get 2-pointers and end up with that going back to even-ish. I say 27-24. I'm going to pick the Chiefs because that's who I'm going to root for, but I kind of think it's going to be the Eagles. Have you listened to any Garth Brooks while drinking half a gallon of Kool-Aid today yet? I have not. I was a busy lad today. Basically, as soon as I got, awake enough to function, I started on Kyla's thumbnail for her hotspot guide thing today. That took me like 2.5 hours to make that thumbnail. Forever trying to get the dinos cut out and stuff. And then, straight into recording Classic, adding mule deer maps to the Let's Go Trophy Hunting series. I'm really excited for that. Typical trail stuff, added a new trophy to that. That was almost a 3-hour recording, and now here we are. I haven't done much other than that today. Doing an RA program of Super Bowl viewing party. Sadly, no alcohol allowed. I imagine we'll go to my parents to watch, because my sister's fiance is an Eagles fan, so I'll at least semi-root for them for his sake, because some people like this kind of thing, but I'm not a big fan of, like, the weird, awkward moment of somebody's team losing the Super Bowl and being there for that, especially when you're not also of the same mindset. So if the Eagles win, I'll be perfectly happy for that reason. Thumbnail making service? Boy, if it takes me that long, I'm gonna have to start charging. Only Monday, indeed, Soup. Actually, one other thing that I did do was locate the "those are some nice tracks" thing from Twitch. Bottom Boy helped me do that. That was such a confusing thing because So Twitch VODs expire after 60 days if you're like a Prime member and Prime sub or something. It's 15 days if you're just a casual viewer, 30 days for regular sub, and 60 for Prime sub or something like that. So it's on day 58, that stream. I wanted to go back and find it. And I was looking through my messages, I could see when Bottom Boy sent me that, and I couldn't find the part of the stream. It was because that was the second to last day of hunting season, so I started the stream at a different time than normal, and that completely threw me off. Listen, you. I'm trying to have a conversation here. I don't appreciate your tone. That's right, walk away. Come on, Sir 12, save me. Onwards. I kind of wonder what this does. Never mind. Just got bucked off a moose. I didn't even get a lung for that. You don't deserve to live after that, okay? I was trying to be nice. I was gonna spare you. I don't even know if I got... I might have hit the rock. Oh, now it's dead. There's a clip. I was thinking that too as soon as it happened. It literally bucked us off. That was hilarious. Favorite animal to hunt on SRP? Probably... It's like a tie between mountain goat and pronghorn. I like hunting mountain goat better because of the areas. Did you not see what happened to that moose? You really want to do this? What a silly idea. Supposed to ride cows, not cow moose. It was a cow. So we hit too far forward. Too far forward again. Too far back. And then accidental hard shot. Easy. Caden, thank you for the super chat. You're my favorite streamer on my moose grind right now. Which map you doing? What are you doing, Star 12? Get out of there. It's poisonous. Walked away from my phone for 5 minutes, come back to Flinter riding a moose. I don't know why, but I never considered trying that with the aggressive ones. The whole getting bucked off thing, which obviously is not what the animation is, but it worked perfectly for that. I'm gonna have to do it some more. Wait. Okay, I'm not brave enough to do this, but somebody out there, maybe who's braver than me, get a great one moose aggressive, jump on its back, shoot it down through the spine into the lungs or something. That's just asking for it to go wrong. Maybe don't do that, but I would love to see it happen. Sir 12 trying to find a friend for Valentine's. He's only got a week left. Gotta figure it out. Grinding elk, nice. Do it again, I didn't see it all. If we can get another moose to go aggressive, I'll try. Me aiming at a level 9 cape while watching Flinter ride a moose. There's priorities here. I'll do it if you find me the great one first. Well, as you can clearly tell, I'm really good at finding great ones. Almost a year since the last one. It was March sometime, I believe. Mixing in New England to mix up the scenery? Okay. I missed the first reply there. Medved? Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I want to do Layton or New England. If this grind goes to like 3K and we try Reventuli for a while and that doesn't work, I want to do something where bear and moose can both be grinded. Layton seems doable, but there's just so much water. So much surface area that they can drink at. It makes it tough. I'm sure you'd get it before I get my first one, Kyla. Small. Kind of funky looking, at least. I've been watching you since the Sasquatch game a long time ago. Indeed, man. You finally convinced me to get Call of the Wild. You probably don't remember me because I don't chat much. But good luck today. Well, I certainly appreciate it, man. And I hope you enjoy Call of the Wild. I'm sure you maybe recall then if you remember the specific game. We never actually got to kill Sasquatch. It, like, glitched into a mountain when we had him completely dead to rights. We were good to go, enough ammo, everything to get him. and then he just was stuck. And we never went back to the game. Do you think Montana with wolves is a good map idea? It would be kind of New England-y. Like, there couldn't be a lot of new species, specifically big game species, but I'm still on it. You really have the best luck when finding great ones. Once I find them, you know, like the whitetail, for instance, my luck's not that bad, but get them there definitely seems to be a struggle. Sasquatch, great one. Holy. I mean, they do have, boy, I don't know, half a dozen references to Bigfoot throughout this game. We're on a collision course here. Which hunter game is best for you? Like, which one do I think is the best? I think the Hunter Classic may still be the most realistic hunting game ever made. Way the Hunter's a more realistic kind of modern game, but there's some things about that, the zones in particular, that I think make it a little less realistic than Classic. But Call of the Wild kind of found that sweet spot. It's got the realistic graphics, it's realistic enough, but more kind of fast-paced, that it gets a lot more, like, I guess, non-simulation specific player base. Next big game animal should be muskox. So the biggest potential struggle with that I see is making them look decent with that, like, shaggy hair they have, because I can't think of anything in Call of the Wild that really compares to that. But you look at the shaggy feral goats on Bushrangers Run in Classic, they're not real good. So surely they could do better than that on a new engine and stuff, but I think it may be a challenge. Why do you not have tents placed? I have some. I use a lot of outposts. Like, I've got tents here and here for spots up here on the big lake, but I always do this with the grinds, and it's not great practice, frankly, but I kind of get into a certain groove and I just keep doing that, even though it's not always optimal. Which you should always be trying to do the most optimal thing. But here I am. Oh, Lion Maid's a good comparison. Can you get the Great One Moose with a recurve? I intend to stick with a hawk edge bow for pretty much any Great One. The nice thing about picking a bow to be like, you know, this is our Great One weapon regardless of species, is that we literally can take every species. Even if they do a Great One duck someday, we can smoke it with a 300 grain arrow. So that's why I want to do that. I guess the recurve, can the recurve cover everything? Might only go up to 8. No, they added 700 grains. Either way, I like sticking with just one weapon as like the Great One weapon that we use. You like Way the Hunter? I love it. I have been, let me see if I can get a thing on Steam here. I want to compare my hours in Way the Hunter to Call of the Wild. Let's see. Yeah, I have almost twice as many hours in Way the Hunter in the last 2 weeks as I do in Call of the Wild. Been playing a lot off stream. I think Way the Hunter is decent realism because Call of the Wild has zones being like 100 meters. But Way the Hunter, not only do the animals not go to the same zones every time, but the zones are much larger. Yeah, I definitely agree. But you still have that, like, that, high likelihood, I guess, of encountering animals in the same places every time. And real life hunting is largely that way, but for a hunting game, I think it's generally better that you could encounter things anywhere and not have, like a... Like I was talking about on Transylvania the other day. The reason that I have more success on Nez Perce Valley right now is I know the map so well at this point. If this were Way the Hunter, and I'm like running through this brush, I know close to the far end of these trees, I gotta slow down because there's often animals around. I don't have to worry about what's in the trees, there's nothing ever there. Classic, you can't assume there's nothing there. There could always be something around the corner. Do they have bow customization? They do, yeah. Sort of... What the... It sounded like a mating call to me, but I don't know. The bow customization isn't great, though. They're... What are those high-tech ones called? Orpheus and... something with a K? I can't think of the name of it. I think they have 3 different, like, color options you can do. The Hawk Edge, all you can do is, like, the riser and the cams or something. What's up, Beast Within? Any IRL luck lately? killed my first rabbit a couple weeks ago. We did a rabbit hunt. That's all on the Meat Hunters channel if you want to check it out. I think I'm going to toss it on this channel as well. Sometime fairly soon. Vulcan or whatever the heck you just said. I thought one started with a K. Maybe not. Favorite trophy in your lodge? Of all the things, I really like the piebald diamond gray fox. It's just really neat. The encounter as well. Like, we had already had a good hunt, killed an albino raccoon, diamond quail, and immediately I recognized that it was piebald, but I didn't spot it right away. So I kind of just started into this spiel of like, oh, it's a good day for rares, and then finally hit E to spot it, and it comes up as a level 9. That was one of the best, like, genuine heart jumps out of my chest moments that we have on video for the last couple years. Up there with the initial spotting of the whitetail great one. Bloody shot an insane 138-inch 10-point whitetail last night. Nice. It's just a 4, right? That looks goofy. I think that's that, like, max estimate level 4 rack? Yeah. Don't even know if we hit that guy. So, oh, well, we get the neck on that second shot? And weirdly, no wolves over there. I hope that continues to be the case. It's gotten annoying trying to hunt this spot. Hopefully they'll be on this far side again. The rabbit hunt's already out on Meat Hunters, yeah. I screwed up last week, or Friday basically, a couple days ago. I said at the end of the stream the video was going to be out, and then it wasn't. I forgot to ever schedule it, so it was like an hour and 15 minutes late, but yeah, it's out. All of 4 rabbit kills in said video. We should start a piebald moose lodge. Probably could with all the ones that we get. Sniffs ground, get wrecked moose. Is that like, what's that guy's name? From the Rudolph, original? Not Yosemite Sam, it's something like that. Oh, good lord. The guy that, like, is a miner. And he always is like, nothing. Somebody will tell me. Yukon Cornelius, that's the one. Yosemite Sam. Oh dear. The brains are leaving me today. Oh, we did get the neck. Saved the silver, the most important metal to get. Alright, to the next. Tips for streaming? When you're getting started, one of the most important things to do is practice and try to learn to consistently explain what you're doing without having to respond to chat. I actually struggle with this, and it's kind of because I didn't get into streaming until I had maybe 25,000 subscribers on YouTube or so. So what kind of happened was my first stream had 30 viewers, and it was kind of easy to go back and forth with chat. But typically when you get started, you're like 10 viewers or less. And I had a few streams like that with Madden and such. What is difficult about it, and the reason that it's good to practice that stuff, is you never know when a viewer is going to pop in. Your view count doesn't always update right away. And if someone jumps in the stream and is silent for even like maybe 10 or 15 seconds, they might just leave. Be like, oh, this guy's not even talking. This guy doesn't have a mic or something. Why, you do. You're just waiting for chat or something. So that's one of the big things. And I would just say stream stuff you enjoy. Like, if you like to play Call of the Wild, make Call of the Wild content. If you like to play, I don't know, what's Slime Rancher? I don't know why that game popped into my head. Do that. The biggest and most important thing is for, like, your passion or enjoyment of the game to translate through to the viewer. If you hate Call of the Wild, but you're in this community and you're like, well, I gotta make Call of the Wild content or nobody's gonna watch, it'll be apparent to the viewer that you're not enjoying it, and that's gonna make it tough. Can you show where the best spots are for moose? On this map, I find they drink pretty much anywhere, but I can kind of try to go through general hotspots real quick. I'd say I've got like 3 definitely gotta check these spot out kind of things. So I would definitely go to this lake here, and there's a couple surrounding lakes, like this one's hidden, you don't see the blue, you see the drink zones. This one's good, but that's the main one down here. This whole big lake's fantastic, and like the northern half of this river also is quite good. They're all through down here, they're up here and stuff too, but those would be like my big 3 spots to look at. Kyla needs to stream so we can actually see a great one killed. Listen, man. Words can hurt. Opossums and ospreys, what's going on, man? What's up, Ace? Thank you, I'm gonna go stream Call of the Wild. Go for it, man. Have a good time, enjoy it. Mel, thank you for the 17 months already. How time flies, indeed. It really does. Like, was it Wednesday night we streamed? Yeah. Wednesday night would have been February 2nd, I think? And the mere fact that it was already February was an absolute shock to me. It's wild. Tips to get better on here? One of the biggest things that took me a long time to learn was just like hunt near water. As enticing as it can be to run around through the forest and stuff, and while you will sometimes find animals there, the vast majority of animals, regardless of whether or not they're drinking at the time, are going to be near water. So you'll notice throughout this stream, if you stick around for the next, what do we got, hour and 23 minutes to go, I'll basically just be going from lake to lake. And that's because that's the best way to encounter a lot of animals. Now, I do enjoy hunting in the forest and stuff, but it's never going to be as efficient as hunting the water. What's up, Cody? I have 56 subs. My most viewers on a live is 6. Is that good? I would say so. Typically, it takes a while to kind of even out to this point, but I think a good number to shoot for with videos and streams, I guess, to a degree, is like 10% of your viewer base. Now, if we had, what would that be, 30K in here? That would be wild. At some point with the streams, it doesn't stick there, but most videos, if they reach 30K, I consider that like a above average video. Like, that's what we're looking to achieve. So, you're right about 10% of your subscriber base is watching the streams. That's fantastic. Best 4-gun setup to cover all animals. Because certain animals are required to be shot out of the air with a shotgun. Because I'm assuming what you mean is, set up those 4 guns, never change your loadout, and hunt whatever map you want. I would go 12 gauge or 16 gauge shotgun. I prefer the open sights to the 16 gauge, but whichever you prefer. And then probably 7mm, 243 handgun, and 22 LR. Pretty simple loadout, but it gets the job done anywhere. What's up, Hatchet? 40 minutes late? It's alright, we were just waiting to kill the great one until you got here. One of these days I'm going to say something like that, and it's going to be at like the next lake. That'd be great, you know, honestly. Be good if it was just there. Are there any money tips? There's a number of things you can do to get money fairly quickly in the game. I think one of the best ones at this point is just to hunt fallow deer and red deer over on Te Awaroa. They travel in such huge numbers, and they're just at their better lakes. They're so all over the place. You can get a ridiculous amount of money. If you only have the 243, like if you're just at the very beginning of the game, I'd start with fallow deer. They don't give quite as much money, but they're a lot easier to kill with that 243. Get to the point that you unlock, say, the 7mm, and then just have at it with red deer. Drink times, fallow deer are, I think, 10 to 1300 on Te, and red deer are 6 to 10 a.m. So you can kind of start with red deer and move right into fallow. If they made a map in Georgia, the state, what animal do you think would be in it? I thought you said the state animal would be in it. What is the state animal of Georgia? Unless it's a deer, I couldn't even come up with something. What animal do you think would be in it? Well, whitetail definitely. I know Georgia's got a lot of them. Feral hogs, probably? I don't know enough about it. That's like the only 2 things that I'm certain of. Saw you playing Classic today? Yeah, getting little Timber Gold Trails thrown into the Let's Go Trophy Hunting series. I'm excited for that. Is a 300 a good gun? It's what we're using on the moose grind. I find for things like Cape Buffalo, Water Buffalo, it's about as good as it gets. I would rank it above the 470. And then all the way down to like black bear. There's nothing I'd prefer to use. State animal of Georgia's whitetail. Look at me go. How many states... this is probably not a thing you can Google. I wonder how many states in the U.S. the state animal is whitetail, because I bet it's a lot. Our shot the second time. Did we get along here? Yes. Cool. Thoughts on Reventuli for whitetail and moose grind? I think it's a good idea. I was just saying towards the beginning of this stream, if we hit like 3K on this moose grind and don't get it, I'm probably going to move it to Reventuli. Just because I want to hunt the map anyway. And Medved had this. There were two things. I think it's a good map to grind because of like the size of most lakes. Like this, and even this are an outlier. Most of the size we're at, which is the perfect size for grinding generally. But the other thing about it was the nostalgia of having shot the albino diamond moose way back in the day, and knowing we're going to kill thousands of moose on this grind, most likely. There's always that chance that we encounter another albino diamond, and I'd love for that type of thing to be on Medved, but at this stage, I just want to get the great one out. I don't care about super rares. 11 states for whitetail. Oh, look at that. Appreciate it. That, what's that, like 20%? Makes enough sense. I'm from Finland. Well, welcome on in, man. Appreciate you stopping by today. What are we at, 15, 16? I think we can run this lake in time. What is the trophy score for wood grouse in Classic? Anything above 7,000's kind of like the taxidermy line of what you want to mount in your lodge. I'd say trophy shot worthy is like 6,500 plus, but I'd wait to mount one till you get one above 7K. There's so many of them, it's inevitable to happen. Nick, thank you for becoming a channel member. I really appreciate that. If you are not already in the Discord, be sure to join that. Kyla has the link there in chat. Link up your YouTube, get the member roll, and all that good stuff over there in Discord, and enjoy the emojis and green name here on YouTube as well. Indiana's state animal is the bird cardinal. I know our state bird is the rough grouse. I think our state animal is whitetail. Is Indiana's state animal a cardinal and then they also have a state bird? I don't know what I'm doing, Joe. I put that poll out there today. I wanted to see, I wanted to gauge interest on the black bear grind still, because in my opinion, a great one black bear is probably the most rewarding achievement of the great one grinds. So I wanted to see what people thought, and there were enough people that wanted to see it that I think we'll go back there at least for a couple of videos here and there sometime in the near future. Danny, thank you for the super chat. Whitetail deer as their state animal. Arkansas, Illinois, Michigan, Mississippi, Nebraska, New Hampshire, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and South Carolina. I'd say just about all those make perfect sense. Is provincial the right word? Or the right pronunciations? Obviously the word you wrote. The sharp-tailed grouse. I don't know if I know what a sharp-tailed grouse is. I'm just hoping I can pronounce the word correctly. Jacob, thank you again for the super chat. I appreciate the support today. Do you think they would ever add animals like beaver or porcupine? Also, what's your opinion on trapping in-game? So, let's, just because it's going to be a little chaotic, let's get this out of the way. Okay. So, we'll address trapping first. I think somehow we didn't get along there. That'll get him. Trapping would be insanely tough to replicate the enjoyable parts in game, because really what it's about as far as the skillful stuff is finding the signs, like the trails and the perfect spot to set a trap, and those types of things just really don't exist in Call of the Wild right now. The idea of just putting a trap out and some animal spawns in it, it doesn't really work as well as what you would want it to be. You'd want to find tracks or trails or whatever sign and then set a trap based on that, and I just don't know that they'd be able to replicate that. If they could, I think it could be decent, but we've talked about trapping a lot and its potential for in-game, and I just don't know how they could really make it work. As for the other species, it's amazing to me they've never added beavers, because that's their, I'm going to call it their excuse for when tents and tree stands and stuff can't be placed. It's essentially, the game has a hard time rendering the ground properly to put the tent there, and that's the message you get. Instead of saying, we can't place your tent, the ground's too uneven or something, it just says a beaver knocked a tree down on it. But everybody hates when that happens, and the potential to have revenge on such things is being wasted. Porcupines, I don't know. They did raccoons, I don't see why not. Enjoy your streams from North Carolina. Great content. Well, thank you, man. Appreciate you. I need foods. Your name is Soup. Surely you have some. Hey, man, just started. What weapon pack should I buy? I have 10 euros. You'd be able to get roughly a map and a weapon pack for that much. I would get the Modern Rifles pack. That's got the 308. That's this guy right here. I would say it's the best of the bunch. You've also got a 22 in there, which is great for small stuff, and a 223, which frankly, that one's the least useful out of the three. And then what I would do if I were you is save the additional 7-ish, or maybe 6-ish euros you'd have left. If the maps are more expensive than what you have left, if you just wait like a month, I bet they'll be on sale at some stage in that month. And in the meantime, you can play any map that you don't own in multiplayer. So I would just join some multiplayer sessions, see which ones you like. If you find one you do, consider buying that one. Porcupine would be fun if they could be aggressive. I mean, they did it with Caper Kaylee. Could happen. I thought that may have been a gold, but we completely oofed it. We didn't even hit the first shot. I know he was about to spook, but we were placing the shot right, it was kind of forward, right in here. I don't know how it would have completely missed. Anyway, now we're way off track, but let's go back to the tent. Should they buff the 223? It's tough because there's a game balance question hidden in there too. Like, it's not as powerful as it should be. Like, you think a lot of people use 223s for mule deer and stuff in real life. It's what, class? I think it is ethical for them in this game, but it's just not nearly as powerful as you would want to take something like that down, and not nearly as powerful as you would see a 223 take a mule deer in real life. That said, if they buff that, they gotta buff everything above it for everything to make sense. I think they're better off leaving it, but I would love for it to be a more useful caliber. I wish the Caper Kayleys would go aggressive in Classic. I kind of thought they would. I'm surprised they don't. You like Hunting Sim 1? I played, like, the demo of that for, I don't know, 8 minutes. Not long. And it kind of seemed decent, but having played Hunting Sim 2, I can't imagine Hunting Sim 1 is better. And Hunting Sim 2 is just... it's fine. The mechanics are fine. I like the dogs and stuff. The weapon and character models are good. The animal models are lacking so bad that it just kind of ruins any replayability. Love your videos. Thank you, man. Imagine if they had someone more knowledgeable to handle the weapons in this game. I don't even know if that's the issue necessarily. I just think it's when you get... how many weapons are in this game? 50? The balance is inevitably going to get thrown off. There's two reasons for that, too. Number one, it's really not that feasible to have 50 weapons that do entirely unique things and also still fit on the scale that they should in real life. Like, you're going to have some crossover that doesn't make sense realistically and stuff like that. But then, too, there's theoretically a limit on how many weapons and stuff you can choose. And what it comes down to is, when they make new weapons, they want to sell that weapon pack. Like, the idea is to make money. So, in order to be able to do that, the new weapons have to have some functionality that makes them better than already existing weapons. So you get this imbalance and it just snowballs. It's guaranteed to happen in almost any game that you would want, like, a superior, newly added content. Yeah, I'm with you, Mel. I don't think the balance needs to be there, but it's something that they're trying to do, at least. Been playing the game since 2017, even a little earlier than that, technically. There was I don't know how to call it, like an invitational beta they did in December of 2016. I actually didn't... invitational is the wrong word. Random draw invitational application beta thing. Basically, you put your email in like a drawing, and if you got chosen, you could play the beta for like 3 days. I didn't get chosen, but fortunately, one of my viewers put like 5 emails in and got chosen twice. So they gave me a key and I did a little 2016 Call of the Wild content. I think it was like 1 video actually. Problem was, at the time, I still lived with my parents, and the internet was so god-awfully slow that by the time I got it downloaded, the beta period was basically over already, so I got 1 video out and that was it. If they'd have any equipment DLC come out that doesn't include guns, what would you like to see? Spotting scope for sure. We've gotten so many small species now, small game animals, from like grouse to rabbits to even the waterfowl and stuff, that many times you want to potentially spot from 350 meters away, and you just can't with the current setup with the binoculars. Now, sometimes the Argus scope will work, but a lot of people don't care for that scope. So being able to carry a spotting scope would be great. I also want just a rifle scope with better zoom, only because I think it would be neat to kind of embrace the idea of going for longer shots. So 16 times zoom is great, but maybe like a 24 could be kind of fun. Those two things kind of fit into the same theme, so if I wanted to continue the long range kind of idea, what would be like a third item, because they usually do 3s. Gonna mark that. Spotting scope, rifle scope, can't be a gun. Even binos with more customizable zoom or something could work. Do you prefer 30-06 or M1? The M1 typically is better for like grinding and stuff, but I really like the sounds. I mean, the M1, the ping is great, right? But the actual rifle report and I guess the models, I like the 30-06 better, so little both functionality, M1, looks and sounds other than the reload ping, or not reload, empty mag ping. I'd go 30-06. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I like that better, Joe. Some sort of thing like classic. It needs to not be like the 7mm Mod 8, the bipod. That thing drives me nuts. It needs to be optional, because being forced to use the bipod every time you go prone makes that thing 100 times worse. I want new scopes in Way of the Hunter. Yeah, the ones we have are okay, but could be better. Even if we could customize the reticles. Oh, Mel just said that. Great minds, as they say. Heckin' spammers today? I invited them to the conference. Stop making me want to play Classic, I don't have time. Join us. You need to add shooting sticks for blinds? Yeah, that can maybe work too. I don't use blinds that often. Do blinds grant the additional stabilization that towers and tripods do? I don't know if tree stands do. Or am I thinking of Classic? I think Call of the Wild has stabilization from at least towers and I think tripods. They should definitely increase the render. I think the biggest thing is because they, and I know Way the Hunter does it, but because they wanted to also be accessible on console, they had to limit the render, or otherwise the game would struggle to run. It already had a hard time running on last-gen consoles, and I think they've improved some frame rate stuff, but it's hardly ideal. Extending the render would just complicate that further. There must be a way, though, because obviously Way the Hunter did it. I don't understand why it's chilly in this room. Speaking of chilly, I saw you got venison burger out. Is that the plan? Always time to play Classic. I need to find the time again. Next time I go to do a little editing, I want to sit in a Classic stand. I noticed something, by the way. I don't know if maybe just because I've played Classic a little bit more lately, if I've just jumped up enough Hunter score for this to impact it, or if like a bunch of top Hunter score players maybe were hacking or something and got banned. Maybe some people have just quit. I jumped like 50 leaderboard spots since I last checked. I was like 356, now I'm 305. It's interesting. Should make a new gen version to improve render. I mean, hey, that would be the dream, right? Like, take the positives from Call of the Wild. Wait, are you talking about new... you might not be talking about the same thing I am. You're talking about a new gen console version, I think? I thought you meant like a new Call of the Wild. I might be jumping the gun a little. How old was Classic when they did Call of the Wild? 8 years. Ah, we're close. 6 years old this year. Maybe in a couple years. Take what works currently in Call of the Wild and build upon that. Maybe a couple of Way the Hunter-esque features that are positives, classic things. Make it all work. 305 overall, like in the world? Yeah, in terms of overall Hunter score. Which, I don't know how many total registered users there are, but I was top 250 for a long time, but I haven't played as much. I'm nowhere near, like, the gap between where I'm at and probably, say, like, top 100 is probably the same from 300 to, I don't know, 10,000. There's a huge gap from 300 to top 100. I play on Series X, but when I played on Xbox One, frame rate was god-awful. I remember when Rancho came out. I think the day it released, I was visiting Kyla in Georgia. So I had already pre-recorded early access footage, luckily. So I just kind of got to see how the game ran on Xbox as she, like, downloaded and played it. It was, I mean, 3 FPS may have been pushing it. It was so bad. Admittedly, that was partially a Rancho issue because you get so many animals in one spot, but it was rough. Imagine Way the Hunter and Call of the Wild made one game. Generally, I've always said, like, Call of the Wild and Classic combined would be fantastic. Similar vibes with Call of the Wild and Way the Hunter. If you could combine the best features of each into one game, it would be amazing. Ariel, thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate the support. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate you answering my question along with following 3 questions I had based on your first answer. I aim to please. What's the next great one you want? I'm torn on this for a really strange reason. I've been coming to the conclusion, I think, that I probably won't do major Great One grinds for future release Great Ones. I still want to get the Black Bear and I still want to get the Moose. Black Bear not so much because I really want it for my lodge, is more so I have just simply put in too much time to give up at this stage. Like, it's 5,000 something kills, who knows how many hundreds of hours I have chasing Black Bear. I'm determined to get at least that one. And then the Moose, I just think it exemplifies what a Great One should be. Going forward though, I'm not sure I'm going to do grinds for like future Great Ones only because it's just kind of, it's not my favorite way to play this game. I prefer like the wandering aspect a lot more. And maybe we stumble into a Great One someday doing that. That would be like the ultimate way to find one, I think. But to get back to answering your question, in some ways I want the next Great One to be Mule Deer. That's the one future Great One, whenever it ends up happening. And I would like to think it would because, I mean, look at record Mule Deer in real life. How could that not become a Great One someday? That one I'd grind for. I just don't know if I want it to be next because I wouldn't mind a break. Exactly, Kylie. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if I want it to be next. Thoughts on Great One Fallow? I imagine that would become immediately the easiest Great One to get because Tay exists. What was that? Was either a bear or maybe like a cow moose? The fact that it's not going to the lake kind of makes me think it was a bear. There's so much pressure with grinding as well. Yet, like, there's a bit of a... There's two sides of it. There's a bit of an expectation involved. And I feel like you probably get that pressure more than me because, like, every time a new Great One comes out, everyone's like, Mel's gonna get it first. I don't think anybody bets on me getting it first anymore. I got my whitetail almost first. That was the one I needed, I guess. But then the other thing is, when you're not making content, it'll be, you know, 6 p.m. on a Tuesday. You know what, I'm gonna hunt Reventuli. And you spend an hour there and you don't kill anything, and it's just like, man, I should just be killing moose. Why am I wasting my time? I gotta grind moose, and next thing you know, you're grinding moose. Easiest way to level up? Missions are good for XP and stuff, but I think you could level up faster just by shooting fallow deer on Aotearoa. Get to the point that you unlock the 7 mil, start shooting red deer, you'll go even faster. Great one, rabbit or hare. It'd be tough to really make that like stunning, I guess, or majestic, but that'd be interesting to see how the grinding for that goes. I think they want to keep the great ones in the species in the base game. Probably, but they can't do that for forever. Look at... Well, like, there's obviously a limit, because there's only so many base game species, but look at the... One of the loading screens on New England. It's a great one whitetail walking through the forest. They're very clearly leaning into the great one thing because it's such a popular thing in general through the community that it only makes sense to eventually add great ones to non-base game maps because probably it increases the sales of those maps. To be honest, I feel like I have more luck in multiplayer at this point for a Great One Moose, but in 2 sessions with Great One Whitetail, one I shot, the other someone else did. It could happen. I've thought about that too. I just saw somebody in the official Discord had 2 Great One Red Deer in the same session of multiplayer. I don't know how likely that is that it's legit. It was on Xbox though. Makes it more likely. A Great One Rocky Mountain Elk would be nice. Yeah, that was in my Call of the Wild Christmas Eve wish list, I believe. It was kind of... What I actually said was do remodels for the elk species to eventually do great ones down the line, but, you know, same idea. Great One Puma. Could be interesting. They'd be... I don't know if any of you guys have watched any of Kyla's lion grinding content, but you'd run into the same thing, because very often you shoot and then they flee a little bit and stand still. They would not be the most challenging of animals to grind for. Oh, maybe email. I never thought of that. Never even considered that. You're probably right. Ah, the person even said the host left. I'm so dumb. That's what happened. You streamed it, Kyla. I know you did. What would a Great One horned animal look like? Well, it would have horns, I think. Probably bigger than most horns. A good example, I think, is Cape Buffalo. I think, and I don't think this was initially my idea, but I couldn't tell you whose idea it was. I think you wouldn't have to make the horns that much bigger than, like, big diamond Cape Buffalo horns. Maybe even do a chipped horn on one side or a broken horn, but then, like, a lion skull, like, hooked through, or hooked onto the antler, like, through the eye socket or whatever. I think that'd be really neat. But it happened, Kyla. I remember you talking about that. I'd smoke those great ones and be like, okay, thanks, these are mine now. If you could... I never thought of that. I never considered... And it's similar to duping if the host then leaves, but I never considered how difficult that would make it to validate the legitimacy of finding something like that. Because you and I have done this so many times, and I'm sure many other content creators have too. Like when I shot my melanistic gold mountain goat in multiplayer. It was one of the first things I found on that server. I was only there for 20 minutes or so. And then I spent the next hour and a half till the game crashed, running around that server, not killing anything, just spotting things and being like, are you normal? Yes. Are you normal? Yes. Is there any sign this thing's hacked? That gets way tougher with herd management servers, because there could be 12 great ones and 10 super rares there for all you know. Buffzilla as a Great One Buffalo, I guess we're going with. What are you doing back there? I guess we are a little early. Not early, but it's not late into the zone, I guess I mean. I think model sizes would enhance the Great One concept greatly if they are physically bigger than all the they're physically bigger, then all the pizzazz wouldn't have to be fur color or antler size. They did that with the bears and the moose. I think Kyla's video... Boy, am I right about that? Is there a bull moose? Like a common, not great one bull moose in that same herd? I can't remember. For sure, they're physically bigger. Like, as soon as you see it, you can tell it's bigger. Somebody said, hear me out. Great one duck. I can never tell when someone says that if they're referencing the bugged great one ducks that were in the game for a while or not. There were mallards that if you got a max score one, instead of coming up as a diamond, it would give you the great one medal. Very odd thing. Didn't even register the server I was on, was herd managed till someone pointed it out to me. I just thought the host must have awful whitetail apart from the great one. I don't think I ever, I mean, like I said, I hadn't even possibly considered that. Because the entire, like, thing is to get cool trophies. I never imagined hosting it, but if the host then leaves, then they don't care, obviously. Great one alligator? What's the, I can't think of the name of that mission, the Red Dead one, where you're in the boat and that giant alligator swims around? Just make it that. Make it chase you as well. Turkey should be on Nez Perce? Yeah. That'd be nice. To be honest, given their, basically all of their smaller game species models, I don't think the turkeys would end up looking that great. They'd be fine, but not nearly the quality of like elk, red deer, mule deer, whitetail, that stuff. Roe deer, throw that in there too. And fallow. They'd be a nice addition though. The albino bull gator, that's the one. Great one, faisant. I struggle to find diamonds. Yeah, I look at that the same way, Mel. Like every now and then, I had a Medved one that was a good example. I killed, and by the way, diamond reindeer were common. Same thing. Diamond reindeer were more common at this time because now most of them troll. I think I had 2 or 3 diamonds, and then I also killed 2 piebalds in the same server. But that's like killing a diamond and 2 piebalds, I guess, because the diamonds were so common. Anyway, I remember one specific comment that said you're just like stealing trophies from players' maps, and like you said, I didn't force them to open the map, but also you can never be certain that it's the host anyway. Just because their player icon color is the host color doesn't mean the original host wasn't there, then left, then that guy joined, got that color, and is now there. It's impossible to make that determination anyway. I think great ones need to stay with carnivores and antlered or horned species to really stay with the, I think, original vision for them. You're probably right. We are big, bad, naughty people, you know it. Kill anything good today? Not even remotely, to be honest. We still have about 50 minutes to make something happen. Guess the other bull already spooked. Normally, okay, yep. Normally there's some at this end. Oh, big males. Holy. Should have paid more attention. Can we get 3? Ooh, that felt good. Nice. I don't know if we got the second one. I think we did. Just killed my first time. Congrats, man. You want chicken nuggies? I also want chicken nuggies. Oh, made 2 heart shots. Hello there. Well, if you're gonna do that. No, stay. I want to be friends. Dude's matrix dodging my... You deserve to live. Have a nice day, sir. Should go into one of Scarecrow's multiplayer games and steal his great ones? Is he still stacking great ones? How many moose have you killed so far? Counting the ones in the stream... 1,140 or thereabouts. That shooting was just as bad as your jokes? You're just jealous of my gift from your parents. That's a dad joke book. What do you think if they added a gutting system? So when I was younger, I kind of thought that'd be a neat idea, but nobody would. Not nobody. It would only appeal to the, like, super realistic simulator-driven player base, and that's by far the minority. So it wouldn't benefit most players to have it. It also wouldn't benefit the company to develop it. What perk is it to switch sights in aim mode? To switch sights in aim mode. I don't know if I know what you mean. When I was younger, as if you aren't permanently 12. You're right. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense, Mel. Like, you'd have hyper-realism on one end, and then on the other end, you know, shooting 30 moose in 15 minutes. Who do you despise more, Ravens, Browns, or Bengals? Ravens for you? Well, it was Bengals for a long time, but it was kind of because of players like Perfect and Pac-Man Jones. Now, for the most part, they're likable. I don't know what this whole Joe Mixon thing was. I never despised the Ravens. They were just good. And the Brown, as Juju once said, you know, philosopher Smith-Schuster, Browns is the Browns. So I don't know if I despise any. If I had to pick one, I guess it's still the Bengals because of the old times, but I generally like Joe Burrow and stuff now. What should the first great one I go after be? I mean, Whitetail is a fairly safe choice. They're typically one of the quicker grinds. Can you bring Shadow on? She's sitting on my lap. She's been here the entire stream. Being a good dog. She's currently licking my hoodie for no reason, so that's good. Apparently Flinter is too much to fit below the title. It literally says Flynn. Below the title? Huh. How odd. You didn't track that third moose? Did I not? Oops. It'll be alright. I was so proud of that shot, though, too. Love your content. Keep it up. I'll definitely do my best. Thank you. Anyone know what primary habitat for black bear is? I know I killed one in the moose swamps that was a 5-star. So, that general vicinity probably is. I had some good ones down in the southwest mountains, but they then moved black bear around, and I don't know if that changed the habitat. Are we on the moose grind? We are indeed. No problem, Laszlo. I hope I said that right. How many diamonds do you have in general? I don't know. I haven't looked at that number in a while. This really would be 979. Long story short, they screwed up the numbers when Bloodhounds came out, and it's 300 higher than it should be. Are you not using tents? The reason I don't have any down here is because I ran out of places to put them. I think I have 16 on the map. A lot of them are like up in this area. Do you golf? I don't think I've ever golfed on a course. My sister and her fiance do a decent amount of golfing, so every now and then we'll smoke some golf balls in the backyard, but that's about the closest I've gotten to golfing. What's better, whitetail or red deer? Great one. People have herd managed red deer to death, so I think whitetail are probably cooler. Plus the rack variety helps. The only thing is the red deer do have the unique fur. Usually get bears in highland forest and swamps. That guy is going to have more info than me. I want them to do gray and fox squirrels and some kind of pellet gun. I mean, we have the 45 caliber air gun, so would it be terribly difficult to do a A 22 or a 177? Probably not. Playing some Rabitos. What's the... It's a 22 in Classic. They have a 22 air gun for small game. Alright, let's go to these couple of lakes that we didn't get to on the previous run. My instant thought of smoking golf balls was you blasting them with your 7mm Mod 8. Now that you say that, when I think of something similar, I don't know how old we were. 8, maybe? Well, me. Brother would have been like 6 or 7. I think at like Goodwill, we got a couple of golf clubs and a golf bag, and we just decided we were going to be pro golfers now, which, you know, as you do when you're kids. So we were trying to hit golf balls in the backyard, and I'm sure our drives were going all of 30 yards. And my dad brought out a metal baseball bat, which I think he had kept from when he used to play baseball when he was in, who knows, I don't know what age he played baseball, high school or grade school. I'm sure he told me, but that would have been forever ago. Regardless, old metal baseball bat. He just, you know, threw a couple of these things up and just clanged them to who knows where, hundreds of yards. I don't know why I've never done that. Probably because I didn't want to waste the golf balls, but it was a good time. Watching it anyway. Do I have a spacey brain today? I did struggle to remember Yukon Cornelius. Black bears, badgers, and red foxes are my least hunted species in Way the Hunter because I can't find black bears and I don't care about the others. For an Purse, I think those species would also add up for me. And snowshoe. I've killed like exactly two of those. I heart shot one for the mission though. Still haven't gotten the stupid duck. Whale? I need to move that tent because if there's any moose at this lake at all, they're on that end now. But I'm lazy and don't want to take my inventory apart to do it. Do you play Rocket League? I played... I don't know for how many years I played. 3 or 4 years? I either started in 2016 or 17, and then played till sometime around April of 2020. And then I was at like 1700 MMR. That's not high Grand Champ, but well above the requirement for Grand Champ. And the amount of just time requirement to continue to just stay at that level was cutting into my video making, and I would rather have just quit than not been able to stay. Like, regressing, I guess, just felt like I was wasting my time, so I just stopped playing. How many moose kills you at? A little over 1140. Anything good so far? Absolutely not. Nothing at all. I killed 2 snowshoe hares on Purse, one of which was a 5-star I ran into by accident while looking for mountain goats far southwest lake. I didn't even know they were down there. Like that big-ish lake, I think you mean down there? Is the spiked red deer worth taxing? If you have a Hall of Shame or anything, level 2 in particular. Level 3s can be spiked, but level 2s is the smallest they'll get. Is there a new map in Call of the Wild? No. In Way the Hunter, coming fairly soon, in less than 3 weeks it looks like, we'll have an Alaska map called Aurora Shores. You're at 1150, we're the same in both with no great one. Hopefully your luck gets there before mine. Because I haven't gotten to put in the amount of time that I'd like, and in some ways I feel like I'm responsible for my own not having a Moose Great One yet, but I'd sure like to just get it and move on with things. I want to do some Reventuli hunting, shoot some of those geese, maybe get those diamonds out the way, then raccoon dog's still a thing. I'm fairly, like, I'm kind of happy that we don't have all the diamonds in the game currently, because it means we have stuff to strive for still. But at the same time, I would kind of rather work on getting those things than just, you know, keep grinding for moose forever. They should do an all Great One multi-mount. Yeah, I think it's gotten tougher as they've added more species. But especially, like, when it was just whitetail and red deer would have been nice. Maybe that's why they never did it. Maybe they felt that doing an all great one multi-mount would eventually become obsolete as more species get added. Still, a lot of people would like to have done it. Been grounded Rocky Mountain elk for like a month, still no diamond. That is, fortunately, one of the reasons that grinds like that can still be enjoyable, because it's still not a guarantee. So where do we need to go? Back up the river? We're not going to do the entire river, because I don't really see any till here. Let's steal this tent. Fast travel to like maybe back to here. Come down, place it here, move that one. Strats. Rocky Mountain elk or Rosewood elk? There's a correct answer. Depends. Are we talking about in Call of the Wild? Because I'd take Rosies. I find that the Rockies... Oh, jeez. The Rockies, as big as they are, I find they're, like, kind of spindly. Not spindly necessarily, but I just wish there was more mass, I guess. Okay. I think this is going to be steep, so this is probably a bad idea. I'm on my moose grind, only at 200 moose, finally starting to see level 4, and only got 1 diamond. Hey, 1 diamond within 200 kills isn't terrible. I think it took me 400 or so to get one. Plenty of trolls, that's for sure. I'm going to guess it's that zone, so somewhere in here we want our tent. Would it make sense to take a 4-wheeler halfway? I think what's really going to happen is we're going to fly off and die, but that would be entertaining too. Both elk look cartoonish. Both could be better. Look at Way the Hunter. I think theirs are considerably better. Red because it's faster. That's not true. I say that all the time. Bye, Sir 12. Oh god. You get that like weird pixely stuff with a character too. Can you hunt more than one map to get a great one? Yeah. The reason typically that... I don't know how to describe this and make it make sense as we just slide down this hill. The reason most people stick with one map is... I think... Well, this was what I thought was going to happen. I think that's too steep to even run down, so we'll go the other way. Anyway, I think the reason most people stick with one map is because the way that I think of it, and I think the way a lot of people think of it, is every kill you have then has a respawn, and then you kill that respawn, and it's got a respawn. So every kill is directly influencing what then comes later. Not necessarily influencing the exact result, but it's influencing something, right? Like, you killed something before that for the new thing to show up. So I guess what I'm getting at is you can perfectly well do multiple maps and get great ones that way, but sticking with one map, I think it makes it just easier to compartmentalize and kind of wrap your head around, like, making progress and stuff. That should be a clip. My reaction would have been better. I just knew it was going to happen eventually, so I kind of was ready for that. Have you ever been to Maine? No. Been to Main Street in places. I think the struggle with that, Dylan, is you can shoot turkeys with a 22 and Call the Wild being Call the Wild. You'd inevitably be able to just smoke it from 400 meters away and call a kid. Had 2 diamonds and under 50 kills? Not too bad. So normally, I think it's... Where's that zone at? This here? This is about where we start to see moose coming up the river. Are there any there? Not this time. So... we'll put a tent here for now. Can figure out exact placement later. Got 3 diamond moose and 20 kills. Great ones too. You never know. Maybe. Alright, new tent placement. Even though it's just kind of farther away from the way that we're trying to go. We also now can move, or place, rather, one more tent. My brain works in weird ways, Danny. Can you wake up sleeping animals in Classic with a collar? No. Got some fallows bedded like 50 meters from my stand. The only way to wake them up, like, and you cause them to wake up, is to spook them. They eventually will wake up and you'll be able to call them in, but there's nothing you can do but spook them. Maybe, I wouldn't recommend this, but if they're at the exact right distance, and I don't know what that distance is, if you had a bow that could, like, alert them but not spook them, that would probably work. How come you don't use the collar ever? The way the games decide, to be honest. It's the same. There was just a comment recently that was saying I should do more crossbow hunting, and I love the crossbows in this game. They're fun. You can yeet some bolts pretty far away. They're pretty deadly, but the game's not designed to reward you for hunting slowly. You're willingly choosing to hunt less than maximum efficiency anytime you do that. Whereas in Classic, there's an argument for both. There's... Oh, I thought that was a 5. Never mind. With the bow, you call stuff in, drop them silently, other things don't spook, you keep on killing animals that way. With a gun, you can kind of do the run and gun thing like you do sort of in Call of the Wild. Both are effective methods of hunting and you can get a lot of kills. Bow hunting in Call of the Wild is just never going to get you nearly as many kills as gun hunting, and the same kind of goes for calling animals in. Ultimately, you're just wasting time because it's too easy to kill things from far away, at least on PC with mouse and keyboard. I will admit it may be more challenging to do that on a controller. Big male. I wish that tiny one would get out from behind there, but we'll just shoot this one, and if the cows move, we'll get a shot in there. Oh, good. Thanks. Real kind of you. Okay. Is fine on controller too? I would like to think so. I got okay at it, and I never really played on controller that much. If I played more, I'm sure I could have done better. Okay, that's moving, but then also getting in my way sort of again. So you first, and then you. That's so challenging to keep that shot under the jaw. Because you hit him in the jaw, you're basically guaranteed to hit the skull and ruin the metal. Trying to hunt birds on controller? That sounds like I would struggle. I did it with pheasants on Rancho. Rancho was delayed to console, as I recall, so I shot some pheasants with the controller just to see how it was. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. Is there a reason there's an outpost burn up on Yukon, and how do I get it? Yes, that's a part of the story missions. You gotta do the story missions to unlock that one. It doesn't take long, 2 hours at most, and Yukon missions aren't terrible. There's some that actually, like, I don't know if there's any that require you to kill things, but it takes you through areas where you're gonna kill stuff. Recent map missions, I find, a lot of times that you could do the entire thing and never see an animal. 256 isn't terrible. Haven't been in the stream for a while, but thanks for the content. Really has been a big help with my grind. Having your vids in the background. Well, my pleasure. That's the type of thing, like, I do the same thing when I'm grinding. My favorite content to watch while, like, moose grinding, or I watched, I don't know how many hundreds of hours during bear grinding, is Paul Harrell. Because he has this, it's always, like, longer form content. 10 minutes to, like, an hour plus. And he has this amazing ability to explain things in a fairly monotonous way that's so interesting. Just perfect for grinding. I don't know what happened, but suddenly all my games, including Call of the Wild, just suddenly start freezing occasionally. No clue how to fix this, then I think I'm just going to quit games. What platform do you play on? Console? PC? Steam Deck? Toaster oven? Samsung smart refrigerator? That's my console of choice. Best weapon in your opinion? Overall, the 7mm. Probably the most useful these days for grinding is the 308. Nice, Havoc. That's a heck of a first, too. Mine doesn't freeze. It crashes. I play on PC just every now and then. Has it started recently, by chance? Hunt Club Beta, which have they ended? Huh, they had a bunch of events. Hunt Club Beta used to cause a bunch of crashing, and they recently fired some of those events back up. I play on PC, it just never happened before, and now it's happening on literally every game I play. The first thing I check for is driver updates for your graphics card. If you don't know how to do that, you should be able to, let me see if I can get the exact sequence of things. Right click on your desktop. Is it under display settings? I can't remember how you find. There's a way that your computer will tell you what graphics card you have, and then basically you go on their website and look for drivers. Next thing will be like a Windows update or something. I love Call of the Wild on Samsung Smart Fridge. Isn't it just like the best platform to play it? And if you need a snack, I mean, it's right there. GeForce for driver update. They find the best ones. Oh, GeForce Experience or whatever it's called. I used that for a long time, and the only reason I no longer use it is I started to have problems with it would try to like auto-optimize my games and my settings, and I would turn that off and it would come back on. They probably fixed it by now, but it annoyed me, so I uninstalled it. Yeah, you could do that, Danny. Or, well, I don't know why I referenced you specifically. Do what Danny said. If you're not in the Discord, you can ask in the Nerd Hub chat. Beagle can probably help you. He's the computer wizard. Yeah, give it a try, Freaky, because it sounds like it's something like that. For it to be sudden, probably drivers or something to that effect. I haven't heard anything, Soup. I think it's intended, because they changed like all moose calls. I believe it's intended. It sounds like a red deer to me. Like, I can live with it being a moose, but it sounds like a red deer. Doesn't do that anymore? Maybe I'll get it again. The other thing I struggled with too, GeForce Experience also has, what do they call it now? Share or something? It used to be called Shadow Play. And it was, I think Mel uses it still. Maybe she uses OBS now. Either way. It was a recording software that also had a button you could hit that would save like your last 5 minutes of gameplay. And you could choose that length up to like 20 minutes. And down to 1 minute or 30 seconds or something. There's another thicket. So anyway, with that save 5 minutes of video, it's fantastic for things that happen when you're not recording. But the thing that I always ran into was if I had that enabled, it would make the regular recordings framey. So I just had to not use it, even though it was super useful for videos. I mainly use OBS, but sometimes use Shadow Play in emergency. So do you have Shadow Play running all the time and you can use that save feature? Game is crashing constantly. We'll try the same thing. Do you by chance have a driver update? That's the biggest thing if it starts out of nowhere without an update having caused it. Probably a driver update. You do. I do worry. This PC, I need to upgrade the graphics card. It's not up to snuff, to be honest. I was playing Classic today, and I was running like 30-something FPS on Timbergold. Like, the game's forever old. Come on, 3060, you should be able to do that. But if I can update the graphics card, I'd be more confident doing something like that. How's the doggo? She's good. She's laying on my lap right now, being a good little doge. Mostly still wild during the day, but yesterday I went to a gun raffle. By the way, I didn't win anything, but I was gone for, in total, I guess close to 8 hours. Kyla just stayed here and watched the dog and worked on her hotspot guide for Prehistoric Hunt, which if you guys play that, that's out on her channel if you want to check that out. But I think Shadow didn't do as much napping during the day as she typically does, because she just seems worn out today. First thing I did today was like work on Kyla's thumbnail stuff for that video, then I recorded, now I'm streaming, and she's basically just slept the entire day. You should live stream after 4? I am, right now. Bought Tearoa, and the third fowl I spotted at the starting week was a diamond. You know, I gotta say that do sound like Tearoa. I don't know if it was my first hunt on the map. It was like early access or something. But I remember killing a diamond fallow, not at the starter lake because they didn't used to drink there, but like the closest lake to the starter lake the fallow drink at. Similar vibes, imagine that. Heard a shout out when I was half asleep. Wake up! Venison tacos? Oh, is that what we're having? I missed that. I do like that. It's a good idea. Best map for red deer. I think it's pretty well agreed upon Tearoa is the best. Are pie female feral pigs rare and classic? They used to be, they no longer are. That's been... Boy. 6 months minimum, maybe longer. Probably longer since they changed that. Now it's at least since Halloween. A good bit before that. Probably more than 6 months. Anyway. The only rare feral hog now is albino. Piebalds used to be, but they made them like uncommon. Remember when you couldn't pronounce Tay's name? Sometimes I still call it Tearoa. It's Awaroa, but I do that just without thinking about it. And if I catch myself, I get annoyed that I can't speak. Is there 2 bulls there? Couple of thickens. They're always so slow getting to their zone here. Weird. Every time I go on Medved Taiga, I get a diamond moose. It's a good feature to have on that map. Great one black bear grind soon. Not in today's stream, obviously, but I'm assuming you saw the community tab poll. I intend to, maybe not this week, but pretty soon at least do some videos on it. It's tough to, not that it's tough to stream black bear grinding, but because it's inevitably going to be at night, the stream just doesn't look as good. YouTube's bitrate is like a max of 8,000, I think. I stream at 6,500 anyway. And essentially, what that ends up as is a lot of kind of fuzzy images because it's dark. So it's a little better for YouTube, a little better for YouTube videos. Just because instead of 2 hours of fuzziness, you see maybe 5 minutes of that, and 5 minutes is like the night vision scope and stuff that's helps with the fuzziness. Finally able to make a live stream. Glad you're making it, man. Still got about 20 minutes here to hopefully make something happen. What great ones do you have? 1 whitetail, 1 red deer. Big rack whitetail, medium rack red deer. Would you feel bad shooting a great one on someone else's multiplayer map? I don't think so. We were talking about that earlier, like Mel was saying. It's not like I was like, hey, host your map. I want to go look around. Like, they chose to host it. So, I don't think it'd feel bad. There's been times, though, where, like, I'll be in multiplayer, and I don't know the host is, like, a viewer. And, like, I'll shoot something, and it'll be a diamond or something. They'll be like, oh, cool, I watch you all the time. I've never killed a diamond. I'm like, you should have said something. I wouldn't have shot that. I don't want to steal. Like, it's not stealing stuff. Like, they're choosing to host and all that. And everything you kill on that map that's not a diamond is ultimately helping them with their respawns. At the same time, you know, there's still a little bit of, like, oh, you know, I've killed a few diamonds in my day. I wouldn't mind leaving that, but I didn't know. Night vision scope is a joke. I meant binos, but my brain did a stupid again. Tortillas? Have you thought about, like, maybe doing dual stream with other people who stream on YouTube? Dual streams are tough. Because, especially YouTube, it's a little easier to do on Twitch, but our general stream format here on YouTube is almost Q&A-like. So, a lot of people are watching the stream because, you know, they want to be able to interact and ask questions and stuff. It's not feasible to interact with chat and do a dual stream. It's one or the other. Either you ignore chat and just talk to whoever you're streaming with, which is fine, or you keep on talking over whoever you're streaming with. Well, that's never good. You don't want to do that. So, typically, I just kind of stream on my own because that's a lot easier. The one thing would be, we've done this a couple of times, like with werewolves and stuff. Kyle and I will stream together because it's way easier in the same room to do that. We've never done it where we're both streaming now that I think of it, so that doesn't even apply. Anything interesting yet? Not even slightly. A couple of like 250 moose is the best we've done. Last time out here we had a diamond moose and a diamond wolf in 30 minutes. Or an hour 40. Some nice gold is about as good as we've done. Flinty Boy doesn't even like collabing with me. It's because I'm your editor at this stage. What did I miss? Lots of average meese. An accidental flying for a kilometer via a quad and getting bucked off an aggressive moose. That was pretty good. No big males, though. I get to watch a live stream. Glad you could make it in. Just started a few days ago. Now I'm level 10. Any advice? The first thing I would say... I'm assuming you figured this out a little bit by now if you're already level 10 within a couple days. But hunting near water is always a good idea. Whether the animals are drinking or not, they're typically spending time near water. So I would recommend doing that. And honestly, I wouldn't worry too much at this stage about like trying to shoot trophy animals or whatever. If you see something, probably go for it. Worry about leveling up, getting cash and XP and all that important stuff. And then as you level up, you gain those skill and perk points. Those are just going to help you to be able to successfully find more diamonds and stuff later. What park building game are we talking about? Is it Planet Zoo? Is it the other one that Jurassic... Not Kingdom either. What is it? There's Prehistoric Kingdom, that's one. Jurassic World Evolution, I think. Chili sounds good, it does. I concur. I've been playing Planet Zoo again and having a fun time with that. I kind of want to get Jurassic World Evolution, but I definitely don't feel like buying it, so Planet Zoo it is for now. I've been having a good time. Like, I feel like I've finally made a couple of exhibits I'm actually proud of, because what always used to happen was I would make my exhibits, they'd be fine, the zoo would be profitable, but within 2-3 days of playing, the zoo is such a tangled web of disasters that it's no longer really fun. It's a chore to design exhibits and stuff. I've done a little better with my current one. Still not sure if I'm ever going to stream it, but it might be fun. I didn't watch it, Danny. My whole baseball team loves your content? That's awesome. Am I the coach now? Hello. Nice. There's getting to be so many great ones that I'm wondering which one I really want to grind for. Yeah, that definitely starts to become a part of the equation. That's one reason, too, that I, like, always have done a good bit of grinding, because inevitably there's going to be more species added. But at the same time, I think it's best to just grind for ones you actually want. Like, really want. Otherwise, you start to go a little insane. I'm already there. I think that games like that is the biggest... I can't speak English. Games like that, the most fun part is the beginning, and their biggest challenge is making the end game kind of fun. Because I find it's the same with farming sim. It's really enjoyable when you have like one tractor and a crappy little combine, and you know, you're making your money $7,000 at a time trying to pay back the bank loan. When you have all the big equipment and you own a ton of land and you've got helpers working all your fields, it's just kind of, it's like the fun part's done. I want to start over and do that again. What are you aggressive for? Me? You absolute goober. I'm gonna ride this capercaillie into the sunset. What have I missed? Honestly, the highlight of the stream was jumping on the back of an aggressive moose and then getting bucked off. It's pretty great. Listen, you. I don't like your tone. Yeah? Guess you don't work like Goombas. Those are nice eyebrows you have. I think your dog should be able to take out an aggressive capercaillie. Like if there's one species. Where's my 22? Oh, I don't have it. Well. Sorry. Wait. Did it just attack my dog? Sir 12, I'll avenge you. I don't take kindly to this, sir. Splat. I might have missed the head, but it's close enough. There's shockwave damage and stuff. It counts. 4 Sir 12, he didn't deserve it. He did not deserve to get spurred by a capercaillie. Has any other, like, wolves or Cape Buffalo or anything, did they attack dogs? Because that wasn't like, oh, capercaillie missed me by 3 feet and hit the dog. It completely went 180 and 15 meters away. Or 10 meters anyway. And smoked the dog. That's kind of rude. Well, probably because I just smoked that capercaillie, actually. That would explain why there's nothing there. We got like 15 minutes. I think we have time to hit these lakes and the big one. Saw one chasing the lynx. Yeah, that I knew they would do. They'll chase lynx, they'll chase wolves. Anything that can go aggressive will go aggressive against any species that can spook other animals. So, pumas spook things, lynx spook things, wolves spook things. Are there any others? Lions. Might be it. So any of those species can have any other species go aggressive on them if that species can go aggressive. How long is streaming? Another 12 minutes roughly. Bobcats? Oh yeah, missed them. They're just, you know, North American lynx really. Although lynx also can be North American. The Eurasian kind that we have, they're the North American version of that. I don't know what I'm saying. Did not know moose go aggressive. Just got so spooked when a cow ran me down. Yeah, they will. Typically, if you kind of like back away, run away, they move so slow they end up just running off. But sometimes they chase you a long time. Which one of the new pistols is your favorite? I don't currently have it because we're carrying tents, but on any other occasion, I'd have the 243 pistol in my loadout. That thing is, for my money, as good as the 243 rifle, and it takes up way less space. It's the one thing that really makes that pack actually worth buying. Good lord. All packed in over there. Two smalls. Have you ever been to New Mexico? No. Late on that, I think. Yeah. I don't know if it's because, like, I just don't grind as frequently as like we did with the red deer and stuff. I can't seem to get used to the new spooking speed. It's perfectly possible to get 2 every time consistently, but I can't get it through my head that I need to take the shot just a tick faster. Appreciate it, Danny. Did shoot a great one moose yet? We have not. I think this is the lake Kyla got hers at. Bought that pack just for the 243. I really, like, whatever it is, $3, $4. I really think, in most weapon packs there is one weapon that makes it worth it. I really think the 243 is game-changing enough. Like, it allows you to carry some extra heavy loadouts. You can go 300 and 7mm, or 338 and 7mm, and then, like, 243 and 22 take up next to no space, but only if you're using the 243 handgun. It's a nice way to change up your loadouts, and you really aren't sacrificing like anything. A little bit of zeroing, but the 243 rifle, when 0 for 300 is more like dead on at 250. So that bit you give up in zeroing is essentially irrelevant anyway. Are you tracking your kills on this grind? As in, like, keeping track of how many? Yeah, not, like, super closely because this has been spread out over so long. We're in the area of, like, 1150, but it could be plus or minus, who knows, 50 by now? I could be off by quite a bit. So you don't use the 10 mil? Rarely. It's fun to use, but I don't find it, like... I don't find that it is better than just using a regular rifle, whereas I do find the 243 pistol is actually better often than carrying the regular 243 rifle. Hope you find one soon. Thank you, man. I do as well. Who would have thought? What will you do if you're... Get out of here. Why'd you say it? What will you do if your Great One Moose is common? Be happy I got a Great One Moose. My Great One Whitetail is common. Everybody's is, but, you know, can live with that. I would much prefer, if it's going to be common, I mean, I want the same rack regardless of what fur type it is, but especially if it's common. That, long tines, lighter coloration rack, the typical one, that's the one I would want. There's that crazy non-tip one that I wouldn't mind that either, but especially if it's going to be common, that rack really sets it apart, I think. The 10 mil and 45 are both gimmick guns. Yeah, I love the 45. I really do. It's such a cool gun. But this goes back to the same conversation as the bows and stuff that we talked about earlier. If you want to just have fun, if you want to use something a little different, if you don't mind maybe spending some extra time tracking stuff or getting into range, it's a ton of fun to use. If you want to be super optimal, super efficient, all that, doesn't make sense to carry it, unfortunately. Goodness gracious, I broke my leg today. You're coming in clutch with this live? I certainly hope that everything is more okay with that now. I'm guessing you've at least made it as far as the hospital then? That is scary. You don't want the double paddles? I think it's cool, but not if it's going to be a common. Like, give me the most impressive antlers if it's going to be a common. And I think that big typical one is even more impressive than the non-tip. Part of it's going to stand out better too, that really light coloration. So that gives some contrast. Seems like it's always the small moose bulls that like to go aggressive towards me. I've never had a very big one chase me. I'm the same way. Shot a diamond lion, albino lion, leucistic plains bison, and a diamond whitetail the other day, I'm guessing. It was nuts. Call of the Wild's like that. It's so funny. Like, things come in waves. Classic's sort of the same too. Sometimes you just get into like a weird groove of killing all kinds of trophies, and then it ends, and then the next couple hunts are like, why can't I do that again? It was so easy. Did I miss anything in the stream? Well, we were bucked off the back of an aggressive cow moose. That was pretty cool. And then we had aggressive capercaillie attack our dog, and then I murdered it in the head with a 300, because I don't stand for that. That's about it. We haven't done anything relevant to big males this entire stream. Hot take, the new muzzleloader is actually good. I'm not going to disagree with you, but I'm going to require an explanation. Like, in what context is it good? Because I haven't found one yet, personally. It's a rugby accident. Oh, dear. Do you have any hunting trips planned for this coming hunting season? We're in the process currently of looking at maybe doing a couple out-of-state turkey hunts. My brother wants to do one, and Aaron wants to do one. My brother can't do two, based on just PTO time, and I think Aaron's the same way. So, I think, unless like their time schedules and stuff line up, I think I'm gonna do 2 out-of-state turkey hunts. We're looking at maybe, I think Ohio's likely, and then potentially Virginia or Maryland as the other one. And it's possible that we only do one if my brother can just come with the one to Ohio. Then, I believe, as long as everything stays as it has been, West Virginia should be a thing this year, and possibly Georgia for whitetail. Maybe hogs too, I don't know. That's the current docket, and then obviously the PA stuff. I want to go back to Tennessee. I obviously haven't gotten that video out yet. That'll be down the line a bit, but I want you guys to see our experiences in Tennessee and what happened, because it was quite the adventure. And once you guys get to see that, you'll probably understand more why I want to go back, but it won't be this year. Oh, bull. The bigger moose will attack just about every time when bow hunting. Is this after you shoot them? Like how bears sometimes do? Is it bears? What does that? Lions. You hit them with a bow almost every time they go aggressive. Would you rather the inline muzzleloader or a cap lock? What exists currently, I'd pick the cap lock. Let's see what toxicity says. If you're within 150 meters or 164 yards, they shred, but they're not the best with big game. But class 4 to 6? I guess, because I'm comparing it to the cap lock. Oh my god, we're way past time. No wonder he's leaving. There's a spirit bear back there. It's a male. Well, that missed. That's a little better. What do we have, 5 minutes? I guess we'll just get the bear and continue on our way here. I'm in Alaska in real life and on the game moose hunting right now. Season 8 until September though for moose and August and September for caribou. I really want to do a caribou hunt. That sounds... Are you caribou hunting this year as well? My first great one attacked after shooting, the other attacked before I got to shoot. In both cases, that is really cool. Sounds like a fun season. I have a whitetail hunt and have enough time for either a mountain elk hunt or bighorn. There you go. My brother did elk in Colorado last year. And I want to maybe do it this year, but I've got some general, like, renovation type stuff that I want to do with the house. Mainly, I want to get, like, some form of central air done in here because it gets stupid hot in this room with computers running all the time. Naturally, they're just like space heaters. So I'm going to get that taken care of. In order to do that, there's some electric work that needs to be done. So I don't think that's going to be exactly cheap. And I think that's why I'm going to... Not that the elk hunt, just the hunting itself is expensive. I mean, it is, but comparatively. The problem is I don't have the necessary gear to do it, so I'd have to then buy all that. So I think I'm going to save elk for a little bit down the line too. But it seemed like, from his experience, it'd be something I'd like to do. They didn't even... I think he saw some elk like the last day. One big one, he said, but sadly no footage. Hello. Come here, cat. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Deed. Just open a window? Oh yeah, that'll help. When it's 90 degrees out. What's going on, Nelson? We are just getting ready to wrap up. Unfortunately, no big males today, but had a good time. Missed a nice 130-inch plus 8-pointer IRL Saturday night. Last day of the season here in Ohio, and I shot right under him with about 2 minutes of legal light left. Sucks, but it happens. It does. Wow, the spears look different than I thought. Almost blonde. It's especially in low light and with a bow. It's so easy to be off by just the tiniest bit. What's your biggest whitetail that you've shot in real life? The one I got in 2021 here at this property that I had just purchased at the time, like just moved in 2.5 months before, something like that. It was a 14-point, 180-inch PA buck, which is nuts. It's the second biggest non-typical ever shot in this county. And I say all that to say that I got absurdly lucky. And if I ever kill one even within 30 inches of that in PA, again, I'd be shocked. Now there is one. He was a 4x7 this year. I think he's going to blow up, and I think he'll be in the area of like 150 next year, so that'd be within 30 inches, but then that requires me to actually find him and kill him, so we'll see. Cody Perry, thank you for the super chat. First light, Kuyu, Sitka, or other for deer or to go west. So are you talking about camo patterns or like the whole shebang, like warmth and layering and all that stuff? Because if you just mean camo patterns, I'm a real tree edge guy. For whitetail hunting out here, it works perfectly. I have no issues with it. As far as like the whole deal, I mean, Sitka is probably the best way to go. My brother wears some First Light and Kuyu stuff. He got that for elk hunting. But he basically can't take it off. Like, seriously, he wears his hunting pants. Just like, we went to that gun raffle yesterday. I'm pretty sure those were his regular Kuyu hunting pants because they're that comfortable for him. Probably not the best thing to get human scent on them, but I guess you can do all your scent control stuff a few months before the season starts. Anyway. How's TK doing? Still in contact? Yeah, didn't he just... I think he just posted a short on the Meat Hunters channel like today of a throwback to his PA hunt a couple years back. Cool buck strolling around here. I'm gonna go shed hunting tomorrow. Do a little early looking. I don't want... Because we know that 7x4 that I was just talking about busted off the 4 side in November. I don't want squirrels to get to that too bad. But on that note, that is going to do it for this stream. No Great One Meese, no Diamond Meese, no rares. A couple of cool moments though. The Moose and the Capercaillie stuff was pretty entertaining, so always something going on in the streams. But that's going to do it. As always, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for all the support. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video, adding Timbergold Trails and generally Mule Deer into the Let's Go Trophy Hunting series in the Hunter Classic. Bye!